Yeah, this is unacceptable. Let me go to Erasig while I'm setting up. Let me go to the shack with a sugar and a tent, but with the full orchestral 4 minutes long songs, because that makes sense apparently. That's not this one. Yeah, it's this one. Alright. Yeah. Oh, there's invasion actually. I should probably go do that. Yeah, you know what? Let me go do that first. I feel like the game volumes keeps dropping. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hallucinating or them. Or maybe it's the loud ass AC next to me that's just making me deaf. That's possible. What energy have I built up? 375, nice. Okay, so after reset, that's gonna be 800 more, right? So... oh, yeah. I mean, let's see. So that's 1600 and 160 per run, right? 120, okay. So that's gonna be 10, like 14 runs tomorrow. Thanks for the follow, Vivi. And hello, Lemon. Hello, John. The 14 runs, yeah, that's gonna be almost enough to buy my god. Well, I mean, press my god, as it may. Expedition 33 is a French game. I heard it did well. Yeah, I haven't played it though, but I heard so as well. Oh yeah, I'm just going to settle a few, wrap up a few like loose ends for this week's grind and get into the notes reading. There's actually two possible things I could do today. I'm not quite decided on which right now. I do need to wrap up my AP cap on my Cleric. I haven't done that because, you know, everyone being a trainee and all. Like, I might just wait until next week, until we have more officers. Can I ask what your thoughts are so far on this patch regarding class balance? As your tier list video, I thought it was helpful content, wondering how things have changed since then. I have released a like first thoughts video on chapter 1. In terms of the class balance, I do think that overall the balance is better now. But it's difficult to have like, you know, precise, like chirurgical thoughts on it, considering it's been, it has just been a couple of days, right? And we don't really have like actual meaty PvE content to really judge anything by. And we are also getting like another wave of class changes like today, right? So,
I never thought this moment would come.
Like the only thing I can tell you is I'm pretty happy with what they did with Cleric, but I do hope they will do a couple of things extra, because there's a couple of like awkward stuff that doesn't really have a reason to be like this, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. And hello, Geobit.
The Wraith's aura is fading away.
Class balance changes like crazy every few weeks, yeah, pretty much. And like since we essentially just had like an expansion type patch, right? Obviously it's going to like shuffle things around quite a decent amount. Just know the content menu and hit 8 gear score to hit 1k gear score on some content. I thought I would need to do feathers and seal dungeons. So you will have to. Like obviously if you grab the growth pack, you won't have to do them on the original maps, which you should, right? Like, if you're going to be playing the game right now, I would say just get the sub. Especially as a new or returning player, it's just going to make your life, like, infinitely better, right? But the new maps, yeah, you will need to do it. I did release a video for, like, new and returning players for once you're done with your growth stuff. Late stream, yeah. Patch days are usually just, I think so for alignment. On patch days, I typically just stream right before the maintenance, and this way I stream into the maintenance, so we can check the patch notes together. On bother doing the subs, I just casually do some stuff and not the early content. I mean, sure, that is one way to go about it. But obviously, if you like, you know, if you plan on playing for either until global or at least for like a month or something, I would say still grab the sub. Like, it's $15, but it's going to make your playing experience like infinitely better. Because like the thing is, without the sub, you're gonna be stuck for a little while on the around season 2 content, and there's not many people dwelling there, so it's not gonna be the best experience, right? Oh, no keys. Yeah, I guess. Let me see. Is there people doing Mirror Scarlet right now? Kinda. Let me see if we can hop into this group then. Try to get a carry. Probably not though. Like, this late into the week, I don't have high hopes. I hope Ranger is in TOP on launch. I'm thinking I want to play Templar. Ranger did get nerfed in PvP a bit. It's still really strong though. Like, Ranger as a class overall is just like a really good pick. I want to play Templar. Templar is also like pretty solid. Like, the patch we are getting today is actually like raising the Templar stonks. Like, if the last batch of information you got in regards to balance was my tier list, do know that a couple of things have changed since that tier list for Templar. Like, one of the big problem with Templar was the fact that it was really, really bad at farming in the open world. And it got a lot better. Ranger has way too much DPS, a lot of ticks per second. Yeah, Ranger is just a solid fucking class right now, but broadly speaking for PvE, like, I would say all of the DPS classes are pretty close together. The main thing that's causing discrepancies in terms of like DPS data is... yeah, as expected. The main thing causing discrepancies in DPS data is the fact that the content that we have right now is like really... it's like really low tier, right? And as a result, it just dies too fast. So classes with high like baseline burst on the engage, like Assassin, obviously are like represented a bit. But overall, I think it's pretty even. Hello, Relics. Ranger is probably going to be the most played class. Don't worry, we'll get knocked down a peg. I mean, who knows, right? I think they're pretty happy with how Ranger's doing right now, but yeah. So this release pretty much the 17th then. Do you think they would move it? I think it's a pretty safe bet. Like, even if we didn't know anything, just broadly speaking, assuming like around mid to late September is a safe bet, yeah. Obviously take it with a grain of salt when it comes to putting down PTOs, but yeah. Ticks per second, yeah. That's the AION2 metric. I still can't do Kaisenol, about to pay someone to do it. I mean, the thing with Kaisenol is... okay, as a Sork, by the way, I'm pretty sure you can cheese the jump mechanic. Like, if the jump mechanic is what you're struggling with, you can suck at the ice block and just ice block through it. I'm pretty sure you can do that. Hello, Famalka. You got some sort of reset. Is it worth making ults, or better to focus on one character? In the current state of the game, ults are worth it. Not necessarily for what you think, but they are worth it, yes. I like to see Ranger being a proper DPS. I mean, it's just Ion, right? Like, pretty much the way classes are designed in AION2 is just a streamlined version of how they were in AION1. Like, the only one that you could say is somewhat different is Gladiator, because they needed a second tank, but, I mean, it also was in AION1, right? Like, the main difference is that Gladiator was able to Like Gladiator was able to pull DPS tier like damage in AION1 is the main difference. But you know, AION1 was a sandbox, you know, like this one is more of a theme park, so you know, just different structure. Would like to see Gladiator being a proper DPS. I mean, I think Gladiator is fine the way it is, because ultimately, like, your R DPS is essentially that of a DPS, right? And in PvP, you are not doing tank damage. You know what I mean? Like, in PvP, you are one of the highest, like, damage output classes. So, yeah. Honestly, I think it's fine the way it is. I need to change that. Yes, put it like this.
Please, no.
This when she saw that Archers turns into Bard, yeah. I think people will be pretty happy with the more like, you know, OG, old school MMO like style design of classes. Ranger Mount AION1 for years, even while it was considered worst class, suffered for it to find out was going to be the most OP and overplayed class in AION2. I mean, Ranger archetype classes are typically like pretty popular, right? So even if it wasn't great, people would still play it. I mean, just look at like Liberator and stuff like that in Throne and Nvidia, right? Like, even after it got nerfed, it was still one of the more popular classes. Like, people just like them bows, you know? And bro just kind of died. Yeah, you can you can tell there's 3 foreigners in this group with the DPS. Oh well. My ranger is like straight shit from an ass, dude. I can't really be too demanding. Oh, I don't have shit. Oh yeah, right, because there's 5 people, so someone doesn't get anything. Right. I feel like it grew up a bit too fast though. AION1 was a bit weird. Sork was the most played for a while, then was Glad. Gunners and Bards, I think Assassin and Attack weren't played much. Assassin was fairly popular. Like, the main thing with Assassin in AION1 is that it was a high APM class and was like a pretty high skill ceiling class, right? So it was, especially with like the way the netcode was in AION1 and Assassin being the shortest range class, it was just pretty hard to play altogether, so it wasn't very popular because of that. Sork was a pretty popular class in PvE because it was pretty, like, Sork had some intricacies in PvE with freezing wind weaving, but on the baseline, Sork was pretty easy to play, so a lot of casual players really liked it. Ranger mains are just finding safe outlets for the item. Okay, there's definitely something wrong with this mechanic. Yeah, something doesn't feel right, because like these pillars are blowing up way too fast. I don't know what's going on, but well, that guy fucking left. Great. Excellent group that was. Remember, Assassin was super popular in AION1 Korea, but not much in the West. I do agree about being hard class to play. I mean, there's also the fact that Assassin was like one of the most ping reliant class in AION1, right? And obviously in Korea, everyone had like sub 10 ping, so that kind of helps with it. In the West, like as soon as you had a bit of a high ping, it was just GG's, right? So Talking 9-1 was the only way I killed the no animation hackers. I mean, there wasn't that many, but I mean, Soaking 9-1 overall was just, it was one of the best class in the game for like the longest time, because like the class, the way it was designed and the way like the kit it had was just, it felt like it was always like one expansion or two ahead of the other classes, and it really was, like it was really strong. Patchnotes out already, late stream. It's the CM whole notes as always. Like, it's not the full notes. We'll get the full notes when the servers go down. Does Cleric, has Cleric been buffed in Season 4? Yes, Cleric is a lot better now. First main class was Templar, so gave me PTSD. Yeah, Soak was not the easiest matchup as a Templar. Although I will say that Templar was like greatly underestimated by a lot of people because a lot of Templar players were just fucking dog shit at the game. It was just like one of those high maintenance class, you know what I mean? Soak was still needed, good skill ceilings, and with other classes people would fuck up the Soak combo. I mean, yeah, overall, like, Soak and AION2 had a really high skill ceiling, but it was like one of the best classes in the game for a long time. But then again, like I would argue that a lot of classes in AION2 had a high skill ceiling, you know. I guess I'll just make that. 400k plus. Whatever. Let's see if I can find anything. First class I had to fight was SM. SM was just like rough in 1v1 for a lot of patches because of the fear. Even without factoring the fears, like SM was just really strong in 1v1. Tank for today, quite centered on tanks, coordinating a lot with very fast-paced, high finishing group mechanics. I mean, the tank, like the main thing with the tank is that it needs to aim the dashes in the right direction when the boss does the line mechanic. And then other than that, it's just RGB, right? You just have to get through RGB, mainly RGB 2. The rest of the fight isn't too bad. Templar is super expensive to get it, super strong after 4.x. Now, Templar was just really strong from 2.x onwards in retail. Like, Templar in the original 1.x was barely even a class, but in 2.x onwards it was actually pretty strong. But it was one of those like high maintenance class that required multiple gear swaps and everything to like fully come online, you know what I mean? SM had by far the highest skill ceiling. I mean, I'm sure you're sarcastic by saying that, Anchovy, but unironically, there's a lot of cool shit you could do with SM. It's just that it was overshadowed by the whole field bullshit for the most part. But like, a really high skill SM could just like make anyone their bitch without the fear aspect. Like, the class was that good. And then in PvE, it had a lot of like really fun niche use for like pet AI manipulation. That was really cool. Good Soak with perma CCU, yeah. Like, Soak had just had like a ton to work with. Damage shares are quite fast with very narrow window to get people around. Damage shares. The stacks? I mean, the fight only has 2 stacks, right? It's the one after the pizza slices and the one at the beginning of the fight. And both of these are very predictable. They're not hard at all to handle. Like, really, the only thing that Pogs need to get through is RGB2. It's the only mechanic that is like, you know, requires a few neurons to activate. Cleric shafted this patch. I mean, Cleric just didn't get any changes. But to be fair, like, Cleric is in a good spot right now. Again, like, the main thing I would change with Cleric is I would make Summon Resurrection, just put an AoE self-res on the group at level 25 instead of just putting a self-res on the Cleric and raising the rest of the group. Because, like, it's awkward right now. Because if you want to use the self-res, you have to use the res without anyone being dead, right? To maintain it. And then if someone dies, then you don't have it. It's a bit awkward, so yeah, that's the one thing I hope they will do, is change the level 25 Summon Resurrection to be an AoE self-res buff instead. Ocarina video seems like Gladiator got a very big nerf. So that is one thing that I was wondering about this patch, is that I am wondering what's going to happen to Gladiator with this patch, because Gladiator is becoming a lot more selfish. And Templar is getting more group buffs. So we'll have to see how it reflects into our DPS. Obviously, Gladiator is going to get more ADPS, right? But who gives a shit about ADPS? Talking 9-1 had a complete kit. Yeah, it just felt like always ahead of the curve. Like 2.x Soak. When you look at the kit that Soak had in 2.x compared to the other classes, like it just had everything. Like Soak in 2.x onwards felt like it just had everything it wanted to have, you know. And gameplay wise, it didn't get a lot of like major changes after that. Like, I would argue the 2 main changes post 2.x on Soak was Storm Strike and the Sheep Sleep for instant sleep, right? Because like in 2.x, Soak just got everything it needed for like the rest of its existence. 2.x was playing Chanta. Chanta pre 4.x was shit. I played as well as a while. I don't know about that. I played a bit of Chanta in 3.x, and like after they got the orange buff, the name I forgot. Like after Chanta got the orange buff and Unstoppable, it felt a lot better to play like DPS and hybrid Channer. And obviously Channer was always desirable when it comes to group PvP, right? And group content in general, so. Yeah, I wasn't really that old for 1v1. Fiasco was 2 versus not using group. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try a bit more to get into Mirror of Scarlet Desire on my Ranger, but if I can't find anyone, I'm probably just going to go farm AP on my Cleric. I'll give it until... I'll give it 5 minutes, yeah. Because it's only my group and no one's joining, so... That was pretty good in late 2.x as well, once they had the gear. Yeah. Thanks for the photo, Mort. Yo, this guy's literally called carrying me, though. You know what? At this point, I don't give a shit. Yo, and Mort, thank you for the prime. I'm the follow straight into the direct sub. You'll have to see it. We've been getting a decent amount of these the past few days. You'll have to see that. But yeah, thanks for the sub. Enjoy the emotes. Oh, there we go. We have a full group. Lo and behold. I can't even get a group for stage 1. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a lot better right after the patch. Do you think Gladiator is a good class in the game right now? Gladiator is like one of the best classes in the game right now. It's one of the most versatile. It's really strong for both PvE and PvP. It's really good. Now, the patch we are about to get is going to make Gladiator a lot more of a selfish DPS in group PvE, so we're gonna have to see exactly where it stands after that. But overall, Glad is just a solid pick. People leave after one wipe, yeah. I was just watching a video. Well, we have a viewer in the group. Getting a really good buff tomorrow. I don't know if it's a buff because like Zikil's not being a group buff anymore is kinda... I don't know how I feel about that, but again, we'll have to see exactly how it feels. How good do you think SM is for global? For PvE-wise, I know it's a solid DPS. What about PvP? A lot of people claim it was trash. It's decent for PvP. Now, it got nerfed with this last patch, and I haven't done too much PvP since, so I don't know if it's still doing okay. Prior to this patch, SM was like... It wasn't top tier, but it was like fairly decent. I would assume it's probably struggling more against like high status factors classes like Ranger, and Sork, and other SMs, right? But for the most part, I think SM is like probably smack dab in the middle in terms of like PvP. Wave armor changes are really good, align more with DPS or protection. Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious to see how the DPS numbers are going to like pan out. Because like losing our DPS is kind of rough now that we have 5 players, right? So hopefully it's going to make up for it. If here's what NC wants to do with Gladiator, it seemed like they were trying to make it more group oriented and stuff like 1 second ago. Yeah, but I get the feeling that people are complaining about Gladiator not having enough personal DPS, right? So maybe they want to make Gladiator more of a high DPS tank, but like not in the group buffing side of things, more so like on the personals. What the fuck are they doing? Well, still can choose between Glad or Ranger on Global. I mean, both are just really fucking solid right now. Like, obviously, it's going to boil down more to the archetype you prefer. Like, between Range or Melee. Hello, Shay. And get too many top Glad whales. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care, because, like, gameplay-wise, it's not going to change the class, right? So I'm just interested to see what it's going to do in terms of the actual numbers, you know what I mean? Thanks for the photo shade. I mean, Chovy with the immediate Aegis mode. Insane behavior. What about Tampa versus Glad for Global? Considering they are kind of pushing that as the best tank. I mean, I wouldn't say like Glad is the best tank, right? It's preferable for like more casual content, and thanks for the photo stall, in the sense that Gladiator provides more DPS to the group, right? But like with this patch in particular, the Templar stonks are rising. So I would say, like, right now, I would say both are valuable in their own different ways. Like, I would say just pick whatever is, like, more tempting for you in terms of archetype. Is Gravitation still 3 skills based? Yeah. I mean, so is a lot of classes, honestly. Like, the combat in this game is just, like, mostly chill, you know? What's best clash right now to stay real and what's yeah, like anything that has to do with balance is going to get changed before we even get global, you know? Yo, Shane, thanks for the sub. Damn, another solo straight into sub. Insane. Okay, well, these guys... Yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna go farm AP on the Cleric. I think now is not a good time to do this. I've been here for like 10 minutes. Yeah, consider that to be immediate. Also, you got mugged. But yeah, thanks for the sub, Shade. Enjoy the emotes. Appreciate it. Probably going to play Ranger or Gladiator and Global. I mean, both are really solid picks. Like, and I think broadly speaking, regardless of like the balance changes, there will remain solid picks because honestly, if I had to like point figures at 2 classes in the game and to be like, these are the most popular classes in the game, I would say these 2 are the ones. So I don't think they're gonna take like too much risks with these. So regardless of what happened, they're probably going to remain mostly solid. Alright, well, time to go to the Abyss. Been checking the game out on time and sub before Global comes out, and your videos have been a godsend. Well, I'm glad they are helping you. I'm doing my best. I want to play Brawler on Global. Well, Chad, do we tell him? Alright, surely it's not only going to be Supreme Commander pilots in the Abyss right now, right? Yeah. What are you probably taking on Global as a main? I'm not fully decided yet. Like, I mean, I keep saying this, right? It's probably going to be like a support adjacent class, because... But the thing is, I want to play a more support-oriented class that can also do well in solo PvP, because that's just like what I enjoy, right? So, right now, I'm leaning towards Templar and Chenta. Like, I like Cleric, but Cleric just... Like, at this point, it's pretty obvious. Adjacent, yeah, there you go, Anchovy, fuck off. At this point, it's pretty obvious they don't want Cleric to be good at solo PvP, which is fine, right? But for me, that's not really what I'm looking for. I do enjoy the group aspect and everything, but yeah, I'm probably going to pick one of those other 2 instead because of that. I'm iffy about the global launch because the Taiwan catch-up events have been so nice to have. I mean, look, at the end of the day, a fresh MMO launch is always very fun, right? So yes, progress is going to feel slower and everything. Yes, your character is not going to feel as powerful, as fast compared to the growth stuff, but you're going to have fun nonetheless, right? So just enjoy the ride and don't worry too much about it. The content is really informative. Thank you. Very cool. I'm going to probably release the guide for Fallen Citadel next. Like, I know it's a bit late because like it's over a week afterwards, but like at this point, I'm not in that much of a hurry when it comes to dungeon guides because I'm mostly making them for Global, and Global is not going to get those dungeons for like, you know, 6 months. So as long as the content is out, like that's fine by me. And if it helps people on the way, that's great. I will go Gladiator Brawler as an ult. Yeah, that sounds like probably a decent idea if you want to do that. I have questions about the Cleric's Resurrection skill. Is it an important skill? Oh my fucking god. Is it an important skill? Or does everyone just use Revive Crystal to revive themselves? It was a lot more awkward to run prior to this patch. With this patch, considering we have 6 Stigmas, you pretty much always carry res in PvE, right? So it's just expected for you to have, and people will like you for having it because it will save them stones, right? And also, the resurrection spell doubles as a self-res for yourself now, and it also triples as a healing spell. So yeah, I mean, of course people run it. Well, that's I mean, bro has a pocket cleric, like, you know. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stay here. Yeah. Do you know any Soul players? Would like to know if Soul now learns to CC better with the Singers roll 25. I don't really know any endgame Soul players anymore. Like, the ones that I used to know either switch classes or quit the game. So even though like Soul is in a much better spot right now, I don't know any. $100, I'm myself biggest hater, so at most this game will be a side game to me. Well, there you go. At the end of the day, right? And I will be saying this every time. You are not married to this MMO or any other MMO, right? Just pick it up, play it while it's fun, and if it stops being fun, just drop it. It's that simple, right? Like, a lot more people should have that mentality. Hello, Mandy. I'm considering Templar as a main. I was worried about recent patches, but considering overall, Templar is good for solo stuff. And these guys again. Considering overall, it's Templar good for solo stuff and solo PvP. It's not the best, but it's decent. Like, it used to be... Templar used to be the worst class to farm in the open world, but... with the last patch changing how Doom Shield works, Templar is actually pretty good to farm in the open world now. Yeah. So yeah, overall, it's just a solid pick. Did you consider playing Soulmate on Global? Nah, I don't want to play a DPS class. Wizard plays Sork? Yeah, but I mean, you know. Enjoy for a month or two and then wait for next new game? I mean... I wouldn't really go that far. Like, I can tell you, bottom line, I will be at least playing this game for like a year. Like a year or two. And then afterward, it's going to depend on like how the management is. Yeah, I mean, if the Abyss is just like this one pilot with a pocket cleric, then I don't know about this. I don't know about that, man. If you don't like it, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, if you don't like it, then yeah, you can just drop it. That's fine. I'm going hardcore on global release. Yeah, same. Like, the thing with me is, obviously, right now in Taiwan, I'm making a lot of, like, content guides. So, you know, the dungeon guides, the raid guides, and everything. And those take a lot of time to make. But that's basically going to build myself a backlog for global, right? So once global releases, I'm gonna release the missing stuff before the game comes out. And then afterwards, like, once the game releases, I'm basically not gonna have to remake them. You know what I mean? Like, everything is already gonna be here. Okay, well, now there's 3 of them. XD. Yeah. So, like, this way it's gonna be a lot more chill for me. Like, it's gonna be more like, you know, mechanical and system guides, which are easier to make. What if Classic Plus comes out? Are you going to jump on that train? You mean WoW? I don't give a shit about that. So what Chinese Discords worth? Is that piloting is that illegal now? Is there a patch note for that or something? I mean, there was a lure change on the Korean side about piloting being illegal. I don't know if that impacted Taiwan. It might have, but I don't know if they're going to fucking enforce it. Like, bro, Taiwan is the Wild West. They don't give a shit. And thanks to the full Recton. Are you going to make a guild in global or just join one? Well, I can tell you one thing is that I'm not going to make a community legion, because ultimately legions don't have any specific uses in this game. It's just, you know, more so of an extended friends list. And I don't want to deal with, like, taking care of a daycare and people's petty drama, right? So I'm going to have my community Discord to be able to keep up and talk to people and everything. And in-game, I'm just going to, like, either have my solo legion, as always, or I'm just going to join whatever legion, like, the people I play with have. But that's about it. Is the game having English voice acting? I noticed in the settings as now. Yes. The game is fully voice acted. Well, not quite fully. Like, the latest Season 4/Chapter 1 content isn't voice acted yet. Holy shit. I'm proud of this. Great. I'm not really doing damage to this fella, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Feels Cleric, man. What is piloting? Someone using your account to do stuff for you. I will update TOS from 31st of July to make piloting illegal. Well, there you go then. It's not going to stop people from doing it. I can tell you the amount of pilots has not reduced, and I don't know of anyone that has gone unbanned. He's too good for us. Nah, I just don't want to deal with that. I'm glad they raised the party member cap, not a fan of full member thing. Yeah, 5 has been good overall. I've been doing the new story with English. Yeah. I mean, by content, I mean like, you know, dungeons, raids, stuff like that. Like the latest dungeons are not voice acted, but the MSQ is. If they enforce it from the beginning, people will be scared after that. I mean, yeah, like, ultimately, like, Taiwan is fucked as a server, right? The economy is fucked, everything is fucked. Like, botting, RMTing, and piloting is so deeply, like, built into this region that it's just cooked. Doesn't matter to us, right? We don't give a shit. As long as they enforce it from the beginning on global, you know? That's your main 600k, that was already 900k. That's my PvP gear. My PvP is like... The thing with PvP gear is that it doesn't give you as high combat power because the stats you focus on in PvP are like... They don't give you a lot of combat power. Like my PvE is much higher. It's over 750. But like the maximum combat power right now is like around 1 million. Like for actually fully juiced PvE specifically. I don't know why you wouldn't want to deal with the legion of Twitch chatters that have collective IQ as high world friends of Heatwave, yeah. Well, mostly PvE, but pretty high gear, nonetheless. The chanter buffs are crazy, bro. Are you going to play Cleric on Global? No. That is the one class I know I won't play. He maxed out still 773. I mean, fully craft, like if he is 773, then he's not maxed out. Now maybe he does have Horn Dragon, but then he doesn't have Genius or anything. Like if it's a freshly boosted character, I'm not doing damage to this guy. Straight up. But like the maximum for PvE gear is like around 1 million for combat power. Yay, well, I'm kind of wasting my time on this guy. Super easy to declare on what instead just give him Taiwan server. I mean, I don't know. Okay, this is just me speculating, right? But I think NCSoft just understands that the Taiwanese server is mostly populated with Chinese players, and Chinese players don't really give a shit about like a fair, like an even / fair playing space. They just want to like play games the way they're used to playing games, and for the most part they want to play every game like a mobile game, you know what I mean? So I think NCSoft is like, you know what, have your shitty server because that's what you want, right? Like that is my running theory. Like Chinese players are not interested about fair play, they're not interested about any of that. They just want to have like the power with no effort, and they just want to pay their way to victory because that's just how they play games, right? Fucking god, dude. Yeah, I guess that's a teleport angle. So I have a hunch they may have given up on Taiwan because of that. Want to use waving in PvP? My ping is so high that if I weave NMB on Cleric, I lose DPS. That's the honest truth. Do you think they will ever develop more stuff like legions, like anything where you need to work together to build stuff? They have said they're going to bring in like quote-unquote more laid-back casual content for legion. We know of naval exploration coming later in chapter 1, so you're going to be able to build a boat with your legion to go in the ocean in order to fish and fight monsters boarding your boat. Top line on why you're not picking Cleric. I want to play a support adjacent class, but I want to play a class that can also do well in solo PvP. And the way they are building Cleric is more group oriented. Like, it's not good for solo PvP. Which is why I'm not going to play it. Like, the reason why I'm playing Cleric on Taiwan is because I knew that Cleric would probably be the most hyping friendly class. And it is, right? But there's no other reasons. It's like, if you play a DPS class on Taiwan with hyping, you're just a burden to the rest of your group. So you have to play a support, and Cleric is like the one where hyping is the, you know, the least problematic, I guess. You're playing Gladiator on Global? No. I'm not really interested in playing Gladiator. So I'm probably either going to play Templar or Chanta. One of those. What is weaving? Animation cancelling your auto attack with other skills. Is that a thing in AION2? Yeah, it's built into the game. Like, basically your blue attack is your auto attack, and it can be cancelled with any skill. So yeah, most classes do it. It used to be terrible for Cleric, but they have buffed LMB so much that it's actually fairly decent, but I haven't built at all into it. And I'm not really looking to rebuild my character 2 months before Global, so I'm not really using it right now. I'm thinking of Templar as well. Is it like a tank? Yeah, Templar is a tank. But every class has like a baseline DPS rotation that is like pretty identical, so... Throne Liberty remake with better servers? Nah, this game is nothing like Throne. Better? Yeah, significantly. It's not even on the same field. Throne was a terrible game. Even the update didn't save it. I mean, they seem to have some decent stuff in the update. I haven't checked it out, so obviously maybe stuff have improved a bit. But the problem, the thing is, the problem with Throne is very built into the fundamental of the game, right? So I don't think they can patch it. They can patch the problem out of the game. You know what I mean? Game was fucked up already with the kill with the new patch. Oh, did they make it worse? I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't have an opinion on it. Small spike of players, but most of them already gave up. I see. I mean, the thing is, the only thing that Throne had unique to it was the large-scale PvP aspect and it dropped that at the beginning of Talandre. And after that, like, Throne was basically just a really mid PvP game with shitty bugged PvE, and it never really evolved from that. And thanks for the whole head. Right, super hard and much more pay to win now. Is it? Damn. Like, some of those changes looked positive in terms of progression, but that's kind of crazy. I'm PvP player. I play Throne for 30 minutes and this game was trash to me. I mean, Throne had some good idea, but fundamentally the game was just like, it was just flawed in design from the get-go. Come on, PvP bosses. Only good thing about Throne, yeah. Like, the large-scale aspect was the good stuff. And they removed it, and they tried to pivot the game into a more, you know, a more theme park, classical, like, modern MMO direction. in an attempt to save the game, but they were absolutely not able to pull it off, and they just like strictly make the game worse. Targeting was the main reason for me I quit TNL. I mean, the targeting wasn't terrible on Throne. Like they had a few passes on the targeting that made it better, and honestly it wasn't that big of a problem once you got used to it. It's just that the game fundamentally, like the game system and the way it was built, was just like, it was never gonna work out. AION2 is eons better than TNL? Yeah, because AION2 was built as a modern theme park, more PvE focused MMO from the get-go, right? So as a result, it just has stronger fundamental design. Now that's not to say that AION2 is perfect from the get-go, far from it. But AION2 is a competent game. Throne was a failed experiment, at best. Probably Agent 2 for Vision, QPV. Fighting a boss. Yeah, I mean, the large-scale aspect was like the one gimmick that Throne could fall behind, you know, because the thing with like large-scale content like this is when your game has really fucking trash design in terms of its balance and class design, it's really easy to hide it by increasing the scale of the PvP content, right? Like, if you look at AION2, for example, the PvP in AION2 is not good, right? It's more of a fun side, like, game mode, but it's not good by any extent of the word, right? But the moment you make the scale larger, the PvP of AION2, like, yeah, it works pretty well. Because ultimately, if you make the scale big, it hides the game's flaw a lot better. But the thing with AION2 is that when you reduce the scale, the game still works. It's just not very good on the PvP side. Throne, as soon as you reduce the scale, the game just didn't work anymore. Because it was so shit. You know what I mean? So that's very telling. And then on the flip side of that, you have the PvE aspect, where they tried to build up the PvE aspect of Throne as a last-ditch effort to bring the game back. And they just fucking did a terrible job, because mechanically they had some interesting stuff going, but the PvE was so, like, the game was impossible to balance because of the dual weapon system, first of all. And second of all, every single piece of PvE content they ever released either got exploded or power crept a week after release. So it just never landed, you know what I mean? And how to reduce time for gearing and then making her more than one build easier to get to. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? But some people are saying that it made it worse somehow. Group PvP was pretty trash in TNL. I mean, the thing with Throne's PvP meta is that from the get-go, it just went from like one bad meta to another bad meta to another bad meta, and ultimately nobody ever had fun because since you were able to switch class on a whim in Throne, every time there was a trash meta that dominated that was really unfun but was like way stronger than everything else, everyone was forced to do it, because if you didn't do it, then you lose and nobody invites you, right? So everyone was just constantly forced to play shit they didn't want to play a meta that was like incredibly unfun to play, you know what I mean? It just went like that over and over. It went from the flash wave meta into the spear meta, into the blood devotion meta and the tank meta, into the orb meta, you know what I mean? And like it was just like, it went from boring to broken to boring again to broken again, and it's like, ugh, give me a break, bro, holy shit. And then you turn around on the PvE side, and the PvE was like, it was less than saying that the PvE was incompetent is an insult to incompetent people. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is why Throne ultimately failed. And it doesn't matter how much people call AION2 a Throne clone. Like, yes, there are some aspects of AION2 that like take from Throne in terms of like systems and stuff like that, but fundamentally from the ground up, AION2 is just a better game because the PvE is actually good, it's solid, you know what I mean? It doesn't crumble apart, and the PvP side, while not the best, is actually just a fun game mode, you know what I mean? And at least it has some sort of progression aspect tied to it as well. So like, if you enjoy the progression aspect of your character, you can do it on both the PvE and PvP front, and you're basically like you basically will constantly have something to do, right? So fundamentally, it's just a more fun game. Like, broadly speaking, AION2 is just a more fun game. You know what I mean? Which is the important thing. Like, it's a fucking video game, dude. You know? They butchered the progression on TL. That bad? Man, I thought they were trying to do a good thing with the latest patch. You know, I should have checked it out, even off stream, just to like see what they did, because I'm curious now. PNS have solid 1v1 and no scale PvP, but in shot scale it's bad. I mean, what I'm trying to get at with like large scale hiding bad design is just that if you have a fundamentally bad, poorly designed game, right? If you improve the scale, it hides the flaw, right? But when you have a game that is fundamentally good, yeah, this guy is just a little bit geared. When you have a game that is fundamentally good, like obviously it can get worse. Like for AION1, for example, I would say the smaller scale PvP was better than the larger scale PvP for AION1 as well, because fundamentally the 1v1 and like low to mid scale PvP in AION1 was just like really fucking solid. Cost by 5, really? If then clean up AION2 PvP and give us the eye from AION1. I don't think they need to clean up AION2's PvP, right? Ultimately, I think what they need, the path they need to take with AION2's PvP is they need to take the theme park approach. Guys, AION2's PvP will never be AION1's PvP. Let's be dead ass for a second. It's never gonna reach that point. So at this point, just focus on making it an approachable, fun, plug-and-play game mode. Have more equalized PvP stuff for people to tackle in, but still have the progression aspect, and in the areas where gear matters, make it more large scale to still make it approachable. You know what I mean? And if they go that route, honestly, I have no problem with the PvP. Now, the PvE side of AION2, in my opinion, while good, needs to improve a bit. We need more offerings, we need more variety, we need more difficulty. This is honestly where I would like to see them, like, bring their focus forward. Because I don't think they're ever going to make the PvP, like, competitive in this game. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Obviously, I know PvP is not strong side, I still try the PvP in PvE. And the PvE side of this game is honestly, like, really solid. Power creep is definitely an issue in AION2. Even new season chapter invalidated a lot of the confident endgame players. Yeah, but the power creep is more gradual. No, I don't disagree with you in the sense that I do think they need to lower the ceiling in terms of the max gear of this game. Because the thing is, the way they are designing PvE progression as well as content in this game is that basically they release the content and they scale it to make it accessible for sub-only players and, like, you know, more casual players, right? So if you just sub to the game and you just keep up as is, you will always be able to do the highest level of content, right? Because that's the way they designed the game. But the gear scaling scales above that level, right? So as a result, if you have more gear than that baseline of players, you're going to power creep the content a bit even as soon as it comes out, right? And that is one of the problems, right? So I don't disagree on that front. But it's, trust me, Anchovy, it's still not as bad as Throne. Like, trust me, if you haven't played the Throne's PvE, you don't know how good we have it in AION2, bro. I can't wait for AION2 to be released in Europe. It looks great. Yeah. Just a couple of months, guys. Just fucking hang tight. And I'm a bit behind on chat messages, by the way, chat, but I'm trying to get through everyone's message, so bear with me. While still playing the game, so yeah. I think I agree with you on the AION2. They seem to have solid direction. TNL, yeah, the thing with AION2 is they kind of know from the get-go where to go, right? So obviously, that leads to like stronger design baseline. Does AION2 have better PvP than Throne? Yes. But bro, okay, Crashfish. Here's the thing, right? The fucking bar is under the ocean. Let's be dead ass for a second. Like, I would not call AION2's PvP good. It's still better than Throne, though, because Throne's PvP, it's not even that it's bad, it's that it's actively just aggressively trash. You know? It's just terrible. And the thing is, the only people that will turn around and tell you that Throne's PvP is good are people who like role-playing as war officers and genuinely think that it requires skill to go like, okay guys, regroup behind pillar. Okay, we push the choke in 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. Bro, you're not that guy. All right, let's be honest first. You're not that guy. Raid leading a pack of dumbasses through a choke doesn't make the PvP good. All right, go play a good PvP game and then come back to me. All right. Because we also had that in AION1 and it was better. AION1 sieging was leaps and bounds better than Throne. But guess what? The small scale in AION1 was also better. And thanks for the follow preface. Do you have the patch note? The patch note is not out yet. And thanks for the follow Malwin. Like, the patch note is going to release when the servers calm down. Will you still rather start fresh once release our continent? Or go back to the old one like 14? I already went through the expansion level 50. Oh, bro, Taiwan is global waiting room for me. As soon as EU comes out, I'm playing it and I'm actually going to go hard. Like, the thing with Taiwan is I'm not pushing myself as hard as I could because I don't want to burn out. I'm just playing exactly how much I need to keep up with the game, to fundamentally understand the game, to be able to deliver content for you guys, for the people who don't play, right? But I'm not actually pushing my character or anything. Once EU comes out, I will. Like, I'm going to like drop a little bit of the content creator side to focus more on the playing the video game side, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm impatiently waiting for the EU release. I think people forgot how bad in terms of imbalanced AION1 PvP was. I mean, the thing with AION1 is it had a clear hierarchy in terms of its PvP balance. And overall, every class had some niche it fell into. And there was always something you could do. And also the TTK in AION1 was like masterfully balanced. I can't fucking hit this guy, holy. I don't know what kind of gear this guy has, but holy shit. I don't even deal damage to him. Are you going to read the patch notes? Yes, that is the point of this stream. As soon as the server comes down, I'll be reading the patch notes with you guys. And I'll make the patch note videos as soon as the server comes up. Are you going to stay as Modian? I'm not really married to any particular faction, so as soon as I figured out who I'm going to play with on Global, I'll just play whatever faction they want to play. What's nice was even forced because X-Class was eating other 4, for example. Good luck fighting Spirit Master and AION1. Yo, look, Saycock, no, I don't know if I should say your name like that, but Saycox. I'm sorry if you think AION1's 1v1 PvP boiled down to that. You were probably not good at the game. That's just the honest to God truth. And thanks for the filler sticks. Because I can tell you, AION1's PvP was like a lot more intricate than you give it credit for. Bruh. Well. If not so bad was a lot of people stopped playing AION Classic and went to a bad game. People stopped playing on the... And thanks for the Prime Head. Okay, people stopped playing on EU Classic because Gameforge is a bunch of morons that actively, aggressively trying to fuck the game. You know? Like, that doesn't really have anything to do with the quality of Throne itself. Also, at the end of the day, as bad as Throne was, again, a fresh MMO release, regardless of how bad the game is always fun. So just for that reason, Throne was worth playing. And I would be lying if I said I didn't have fun. But fundamentally, once you take a step back and you look at the game as a whole, yeah, it wasn't very good. And it, you know, it kind of got what it got coming. I played Assassin Cloth classes. There won't be a cleric on you. I thought it was your thing. No, I'm not married to any specific class or archetype. Like, regardless of what game I play everything. The main reason why I played Cleric on Taiwan was because I knew Cleric would be the most ping-friendly class, and that's the only reason why I played it. I was setting root silence, getting Killed by a sword, great TTK. You're just a hater, Akiran. That's just the honest truth. Also, you're a gladiator player, so opinion ignored. Bruh. 3 minutes, yeah. Well, 1 minute by now. I'm a bit behind on chat, but I'm catching up, I was a Templar main. Well, I only knew you as a gladiator, so... yeah. Might have came late. What are you currently doing? Like a sort of map PvP? Yeah. This is like a PvP map. This is the main PvP map. I'm just roaming to kill people to farm AP. Okay, well, that's that. Alright, let me look up for the patch notes. Any interest in making a guide and to-do list? You want to go crazy and min-max everything? I will do that for global, yes. I'm glad it's type, yeah, like it was fun to play at the beginning, but ultimately it just wasn't a good game. Gameforge is genuinely the worst gaming company. Yeah, I don't disagree. Gameforge can eat my entire cock and balls, and I will die on that hill. Like full on shaft and everything, you know? I hate this fucking game company, and I genuinely hope they fucking close down eventually. Because everything they get their grubby hands on, like they actively make it worse. It's kind of crazy, actually. When is AION2 getting guild bosses? We are getting Legion content later in chapter 1. No dates though. I'm playing from the start on Taiwanese server. I just found out that there's basically an auto farm system built into the game. Yeah, I mean that's basically like you have to set up like a mouse macro to do that, and that's basically botting. Now on paper it's bannable, even if you just use a mouse software for that. In practice though, they don't ban anyone in Taiwan, so... Is Templar a tank? Yes. AION1 PvP is great. I was pushing someone's shadow. Yeah, I mean, the PvP in AION2 is shallow, but that's fine. I think it's okay for it to be like a side game mode. Because the PvE is the main course, but I do hope they will make the PvE better. Okay, this is actually quite a sizable patch. Okay, let me just bring this forward. There we go. Okay, let me finish to catch up with chat. Cleric on EU release, I don't see them patching it into relevance before release. Cleric is perfectly relevant. It's just that the game is... It's just that Cleric isn't good for 1v1 PvP, and I don't think it ever will be. So for me, it's not interesting. But for everything else, I think Cleric is in a good spot right now. What company I just came? Gameforge. Bull crafting for food? Okay. Don't spoil, guys. Don't spoil. Alright, content and system. Blueprint editors are allowed to craft dishes and drinks for a bundle of 10. No scrolls though? Okay, well, at least progress. Can we do potions and scrolls next, please? Please? You know what? I will beg. Is this what you're waiting for me to do? I will beg. Fine. Fucking add potions and scrolls bull crafting into the game. Holy shit. But I mean, at least it's a good start. Alright, blueprint added to allow you to materialize Book of Souls by using Divinant Crystal Shards. Okay. So codexes with the for shards. Ah, okay, so you're going to be able to turn fragments into codex. You won't have to craft them into the balls to turn into codex anymore. That's good. Yeah, good change. Just a revelation. Okay, so they're adding the first type of philistone into the new dungeon. That's good. Yeah. Some basic stats apply within the battlefield will be adjusted. Okay, so that's basically what I said they would do. So the equalized battlefield right now, it's great, but it did feel like some classes were a little bit overtuned and some others a little bit undertuned. So I'm guessing they're just like slightly tweaking it. I have a ton of shards. Yeah, same. I have like a million fucking shards of everything. So I guess I'm getting a bunch of codexes for free now. Very cool. Okay, we'll look at class balance afterwards. Let's look at the rest of the patch first. Okay, so they are bringing back most of the skins from like season 1 and 2 as well as the mounts. So yeah. I'm gonna be buying a mount after this patch, guys. Sorry, I'm about to swipe, and this is the reason why. I'm gonna be buying this. Yo, anyone want to fund this? Any primers in the chat want to fund this? Improvements. Number of time you need to clear the sanctuary and achievements. Okay, they said they would do that. That's for the painting achievements. Ellen Moheim will be added to completions conditions for the pride of a heavenly demonic army and awaiting the White Black Flag missions. Isn't okay. Okay. So they are adding the rifting quests to Eltland and Moheim. So at least we'll be able to do that. Although finding people is going to be difficult, but you know. Maximum limit for PvP related stats applied in surface layer of chaos is added. Maximum limit for PvP related stats applied on surface layer. Okay. A base rank rewards ranking buffs are not applied in surface layer. Okay, so they are adjusting upper Rashanta. So basically this is telling me you're not going to be able to enter if you have PvP stats in upper Rashanta, because like right now you can just fucking cheese it by having potential.pvp gear, right? And they're also removing the ranking stat bonuses. So it's probably going to make it a bit better. I still think they need to adjust a few things though. But you know, at least they're changing it. So they know there's problems. Issue, Velda. Okay, so these are just bug fixes. Possible motor, okay. Okay. I mean, they should change the price of the filler stone in the season shop. Like 100k per stone is fucking ridiculous. Like, you're only gonna have one per season. Just make it fucking 15k, dude. It's not that deep. Materials, advanced concession. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, good. Because I was about to craft that next week. A lot of more filler stones, lower level ones at least. Well, they are. They are adding it to the new dungeon. So it's... The old filler stones are probably gonna have a higher drop rate in the new dungeon, considering it also gives the new one, right? Yeah. Stats not applied, okay. Salvage scrap to the thing with... Okay, so they're just fixing the fact that we could not convert the feather down from the new dungeon. I mean, okay, great. You changed the stack amount on the fragments, bro. Just reduce the amount of fragments we need to make the paintings, man. Like, bro, 20,000 is too much, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, maybe in a later patch, surely. Go to port. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is in Caldrix. The colored orbs during the RGB mechanics were not disappearing when you were wiping during the phase. That was a bit... Like, it was just a visual bug, but it looked pretty fucking bad, so... Slow status effect was applied to the rock dresser. Okay. Yeah, the rest is like not too relevant. Not applied. Okay. And obviously, I mean, this is actually quite important. They're going to, if you failed an inheritance attempt prior to dispatch, you will get your fragments refunded. And the thing that's great is they are not going to refund the stone, they will refund the fragments. So like, for me, for example, like, I wasted like 5 or 6 orange weapon transfer attempts. So if they refund me the stone, I kind of don't give a shit because I don't really need to transfer weapons anymore. So they're going to refund me 20 fragments per failed attempt instead. So yeah, if you were worried about that, you will be getting fragments, thankfully. All right, let's have a look at the balance patch now, because it's a quite sizable one. Let's see. All right, so they're changing Defiance. Okay. So they are removing the whatchamacallit. They are removing the RNG like proc on getting your Defiance cooldown back, and instead they are making the phase 2 of Defiance a spec. Okay. Well, that's a nerf for everyone technically, because now you have to waste a node on something that you always had. And the RNG proc was like kind of OP, so I can understand why they, you know. PvP damage for all classes is reduced by 30%. Wait, what? Okay. Damn, bro, Cleric did not need that. Holy shit. What do you mean, bro? Like, I'm already over, man. Okay, sure. Why not? I mean, to be fair, the PvP power creep was like kind of getting crazy, so I can see why they're doing this, but okay. Alright. Like, some classes were actually getting like insane TTK. Like, Shanta was getting really strong in PvP right now, so yeah. Alright, so Gladiator. Wave Armor. Yeah, these are passives. I don't know exactly what those passives do, though. But Browse Ocean, hit stack effect. Okay. So this one is getting changed from the Blood Absorption passive to an offensive passive. Like, this is the... whatchamacallit? The Fury equivalent, right? That they buffed to be an AoE thing before, right? Blood Absorption is our life is still experiencing Fury. Okay, yeah. Armor Balance... change from 1.5 to Blood Absorption effect. Okay, so they are basically moving this to that then. Okay. Okay, so they're just shuffling them then, between those two. Like, that's the only thing that's happening. Armor Balance is UD. I mean, I guess it makes more sense then. So the UD has the defensive passives, and the Wave Armor has the offensive passives now. Makes sense. Because you were not running this shit in PvE, right? So you probably... this is probably better for PvE then, to have this on Wave Armor. So Zikil's... okay, so this is what I saw in the CM hall. Okay, so Zikil's is a personal buff now. So this is what I was saying earlier, where... basically, what I'm getting from this is they are making Gladiator a more selfish class, and Lifestealing Blade is the only group buff left. Basically, from what I'm getting. Accuracy by 100 to basic function. PV damage amplification, PvP damage amplification, PV damage amplification to duration increase of 5 seconds. So I guess, I mean, okay. Weren't you already able to have Zikel up almost all the time? Or did you have a gap? Zikel has 2-minute cooldown. Had a gap. Okay, so the extra 5 seconds is actually going to buff you then. I mean, this is going to be an RDPS nerf, right? Overall, because while you're going to be doing more personal DPS, the fact that you're not giving the attack and stagger to the group is going to be an RDPS nerf, right? Mental power is not consumed. Okay, whatever. Try to open with block equipping specialization. Life force stacks 5 times. They reduce enemy critical damage resistance for 3 seconds. Change to an effect that increases your own critical damage amplification when life force stacks 5 times. Okay. So this is an RDPS. Okay. This didn't stack with the Templar equivalent, did it? What is the meaning of RDPS? Rate DPS. So basically, your DPS accounting for the stuff you give to the group. I don't know the Brawler class that is. I don't think we're getting Brawler on release. It did not stack? Okay. So basically, this is going to be a nerf if Gladiator is by itself in the group, and this is going to be a buff if you run with Templar. This one. If I get this right. But overall... this is... I mean, overall... okay, here's the thing, right? This is a buff when you're by yourself as a Glad. But this doesn't do anything if you have a Templar. And thanks for the follow, Dreamy. Right? So this is a buff if you're by yourself. This is a nerf if you're with a... this is basically nothing. I mean, I guess you could categorize it as a nerf if you have a Templar, right? This is a nerf if you're by yourself. This is a buff if you're with a Templar. And this is overall a nerf. Right? Like, this is broadly speaking what I'm getting. With ammo you took in PvE, yes. Yeah, but I'm saying that counter attack doesn't proc if you have a Templar in the group. Which means that if you have a Templar in the group, you don't get the blood absorption buff anymore, but you also don't get that. That was to answer Vija? Okay. Okay, so overall, this is enough. Yeah. The 10% reward and Fury? Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm saying that this is only better if you're by yourself, right? Why take Gladiator over Templar? I mean, you still give Lightning Blade, right? Now, I guess we have to see how it measures in terms of like the RDPS with the fact that Z-Kills is personal and buffs you higher than it buffed the group, right? But I'm assuming that overall the RDPS of Gladiator is going to go down with this patch. Now, here's the thing, right? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think the majority of the player base is going to look at this and say that, yay, Gladiator does more damage now. And you know what? Because Gladiator is going to do more damage in the DPS meter, because most of the player base is fucking stupid and doesn't understand the concept of RDPS, right? But don't get it mistaken, this is enough. There you go. This is enough. We'll have to see exactly how Gladiator like fits within the group now in terms of RDPS. Are healer desirable in this game? Saying different opinions online. Are they desirable? Yes. Are they mandatory for light content? No. But people will typically want to carry at least one healer for like everything, because it just makes it more comfortable and convenient. Group stagger damage was so good. Yeah. Like overall, this is a fairly sizable nerf to Gladiator, like for PvE. But again, the thing is, like, the fact that this is a nerf for PvE is going to get like mostly drowned by the voices of people that don't understand how online game works. So, make of that what you will. Alright, Guardian Star. That is Templar, right? Okay. If the recent wither effect is applied to PCs, it's changed. Okay, so the taunt effect is getting... Basically, like, this is baseline now. Alright. Fifth... change to 7% reduction in critical damage resistance. So basically, Templar is just like... Templar is getting the thing that Glad had, right? I mean, okay. Yeah. So I'm guessing they're just moving it... Like, it was on something else, right? So I'm guessing they're moving into this, right? Alright, let's see. Double armor. 10% damage taken within 5 meters. Raw of Insult. Frenzy effect by 1.5. Removal damage reflection instance for separation. Okay, so they're doing something like similar to the Gladiator boss then. Like they're shuffling stuff to be like the more PvE effect to be on the PvE side and the PvP effect to be on the PvP side, right? I guess. This armored ability, that's the personal buff, isn't it? The one that increases your HP and stuff. Man, these translations. Yikes. Mental power is not consumed. Okay, that's whatever. Raw of Insult. When blocking, the effect is target. Where's your attack? Okay. Is that just like completely new to the effect? I guess it is. Alright. That is quite a big buff if that's the case. Yeah. Interesting. Fury. Party member increase. Effect is adjusted. Okay, so they are nerfing Fury. Okay. Question. I don't remember the value. Okay. Maybe a Glad is going to be able to answer me. So 40% is the value after the nerf. Now, accounting for the counter-attack buff, is counter-attack still below? Or is Fury still better? Because I don't remember the number for counter-attack. It's still better than Gladiator? Okay. Got it. Okay, I mean, overall, I mean, Templar's getting this, like this, and even though it's getting nerfed on that, I think overall, I mean, okay, basically, they are lowering our DPS across the board, right? Yeah. I mean, okay. I still think the Ezekiel change is, like, probably more sizable than this nerf, though. Yeah. Because, like, Templar is getting this, which... It's like, obviously, this is not on the same scale as Ezekiel's, like, especially with the PvE damage bonus node on it. But yeah, I mean, this also means that Glad is losing Zik for group PvP, by the way, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, this to me screams Gladiator stonks go down, Templar stonks go up. Like, long story short, right? Which, yeah, okay. The identify group. I mean, yeah, obviously they are trying to equalize like the amount of RDPS given across classes, right? I'm just looking at the changes in a vacuum. Like, I understand why they're doing it. I'm just wondering how this is going to make Gladiator fall within the PvE meta, right? Because Gladiator was very, very good because it buffed the group so much. You know what I mean? Like, Templar was still giving good buffs to the group, especially after the Chapter 1 changes, but Gladiator arguably still had a bit of the edge in terms of what it gave to the group because of the combination of Lightning Blade and Zikil's. But with Zikil removal, like, I would argue that Templar might just be the better group buffer now, honestly. And I don't know if Gladiator's personal DPS is going to be able to make up for that. So the thing is, it's just going to be hard to say. It's going to be hard to say until we get like actual content. Like, I get it. I think they want to make Gladiator the DPS tank, and I think they're trying to shift it from RDPS to ADPS because people have been asking for Gladiator to do more ADPS, right? So I understand what they're trying to do. I just don't know if this is actually going to translate to Gladiator doing like... I think this is going to translate to Gladiator doing less DPS than Templar after this patch. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Again, we just need better content. Within your party anyways? Well, I don't know about that anymore, Vijar. Because, I mean, Life-Stealing Blade is still strong, but is it enough to challenge the position of a DPS with Zikil getting removed? You know what I mean? Because, like, Zikil was the thing holding Gladiator in the group right now. Went for critical damage resistance for the yeah. Yeah, it just depends on like how big of an ADPS buff Gladiator gets, I guess. Like, the way this is, Gladiator should be like quite ahead of Templar in terms of ADPS now to make up for it. Like, not quite a DPS, but almost, basically. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Assassin. Okay, so I saw this change. Assassin stonks go up for PvE. Yeah. This basically, like, the only thing you need to understand with this is this means a lot more uptime on Elusive Clone. So, Assassin is probably back to being the highest DPS in PvE after this. Like, it was... Obviously, people are going to say, oh, duh, it already was. Okay. You need to understand that the reason why Assassin is at the top of DPS charts on the current content is that Assassin is a burst DPS class. So it has really high spikes, and then it falls down in between burst windows, right? Like, that's how Assassin works, right? So if your fight lasts for less than a minute, obviously Assassin is going to be really, really high, because it's still going to be mid-burst, right? But if you have a proper fight that is like at least 3, 4, 5 minutes long, then Assassin evens out to about the same level as other DPS, right? So this buff, however, I think is going to bring Assassin ahead of the other DPS, even on long fights. It's enough in PvP, I think? Nah, not really. The status effect thing was irrelevant to assassin in PvP. It honestly didn't do much. Is Brawler going to be more playable now with the life leech? I didn't get to it yet, so... Didn't sufficiently add DPS to get the competent for the buff loss. What are you doing? I'm not sure. The thing is that, bro, anything that has to do with balance right now, it's hard to look at because we just don't have the content to look at it. We don't have human content in the game right now. We have a dungeon that dies in 30 seconds. And thanks for the follow, Medu. Right? Like, you can't look at this to judge the balance of the PvE in the game. You just simply cannot. And you can't really look at dummy balance as well. Like, dummy rotation is going to give you a broad indication for like the long-term DPS, but there's a lot of like missing data to that. So yeah. We need like a proper Transcendence fight to be in the game, not whatever the fuck Honden is. They made every melee class being able to farm without mana cost, yeah. Alright, Quan Seong. Is that Brawler? Okay, I have not looked at whatever the fuck Brawler does. So whatever this is, I have no idea. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to pretend I understand, but just know that I don't know, and I don't care, because Brawler just isn't a thing in endgame right now. So, if we have Brawler players in chat, you can either say yippee or the class is dead, like, and I will just go off of whatever the fuck you're saying. Alright, so blocking concentration, okay, that was just a bug. Okay, that was the same bug that other classes had. That's funny. 30% life absorption? Huh? Okay, I don't need to know what the class does to see that this is fucking ridiculous. Okay. What cooldown does this have? Okay, you know what? Let me go from the start. What is the activation condition for this, and what is the cooldown on it? Please. Please don't tell me this is some shit you can spam. I will actually just like fall down to my knees and cry. Any brawlers in chat? On create 2 second CD, your mods, ban this guy. I don't have any mods. Okay, no brawlers. Okay, well, I guess... Bro, okay, that's crazy. Okay, just for people that don't understand how life leeching works in this game, by the way, when it says 30% life absorption, they don't mean, oh, you do damage and 30% of the damage is converted to HP, teehee, like any normal game. No. That's not how life absorption works in this game. 30% life absorption is that damage part and also 30% raw value of your HP. So every time you do this, you're basically gonna get like 40% of your HP back. 30-second cooldown? I hope you're wrong. That is crazy. Bro, this class is gonna be fucking unkillable in PvP if that's true. Bro, this class is gonna be unkillable in PvE if that's true. What is this? Okay, I'm not going to like I'm not going to lose my shit yet. I don't know how the class works, so maybe this isn't that big of a deal. But that seems like a bit much. Pro attack was terrible. I mean, I guess, yeah, but 30 seconds is pretty long. You do have to account for illusion, say Cox. So realistically, this is actually like more like 20 seconds. Ground slam, second western shock attack target, changed to 10% life absorption effect. Bruh. More life leech? Bruh. It's this skill. Oh my god. Removes 2 buffs. Break protects his shields. Deals 10% like... Dude, what the fuck is this skill? Okay, look, I'm not going to say it's OP or anything because I don't understand the class, but like... What the fuck is this skill? And what are they changing to? Base effect. Okay, so they're not even removing anything. Wow. That is... It's a heal cut. I don't want to talk about it. You know what? I'm not going to talk about this class. Moving on. Whatever, man. I don't give a shit. I stopped caring. Ranger. I had no sustain before this. Yeah, but 30 and 10%? Ugh. We don't need more life leech in the game, dude. I understand that the class is a front attack DPS, which is kind of dumb design to begin with, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, the patch is up? Hold up. Let me get into that. I think it's dumb design, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I understand that they want to get people off of the back of the boss, but I don't think it's good design. Like, at the end of the day, if they want to do that, they need to remove, like, cleaves from the game. You know what I mean? Because there's way too much fucking shit that cleaves. Bro, the Transcendence is Honden. If you guys played Season 1, you know what happens in Honden when you stand in front of the boss, okay? Like, why, of all fights, did you decide to bring that one back when you add the class that has frontals? Who the fuck thought this would be a good idea? I mean, whatever, man. Okay, the other changes are like, I don't know, they are doubling the cooldown on this, but I don't know what those skills are, so yeah. Alright, let's move on to Ranger. 5 additional shields. This is the ambush, right? Additional shield effect to 10% health. Okay, so they are getting... I mean, no, I guess this is more of a PvP skill. So this is more sustain, Ranger in PvP. And check the brawl skills here, bro. I appreciate the thought. I'm not gonna go over the fucking master course on a brawler right now. I'll get around to it, not right now though. But I'm seeing shit in here that is like bothering me, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. Because like the thing that you guys have to keep in mind is like, yes, maybe in PvE, like you might need this because frontal attacks are dumb. Bro, this is also going to be a thing in PvP. Do you know how stupid, like, getting 30% of your health back every 20 seconds is going to be in PvP? As well as 10%? This is going to be fucking broken. How to know which direction is better for soul, for example? What, you mean in terms of frontal or back? I mean, for classes that are not assassin, it kind of doesn't matter as much. Like, just, I guess it depends on if you roll, like, frontal damage or back damage mana stones, but for the most part, just go on the back. Alright, so... Okay, so they are removing the lifesteal from support fire, but they're giving it a shield in PvP. And so they're removing even more life leech. Now, to be fair, Ranger does have a burst arrow, which is... Like, burst arrow has really strong life leeching, even though, like, people mostly don't use it because people don't realize how good life leech is for some fucking reason. But, yeah. That is a significant life leech nerf. But they're giving it more PV damage, so... Explosive aiming arrow as well. I don't care much about PvP. I mean, just because you don't care about it doesn't mean that the game should balance properly around it, you know what I mean? Okay. Okay, so more PvE damage for Ranger and less... I guess less self-sustain in PvE then, but more damage. Okay, so... If you play with a Glad, you want to do damage from the front or due to the buff? No. All of the Fury adjacent things only gives frontal damage to the tank, not to the rest of the group. The rest of the group gets regular damage boost. Only removing its additional projectile that has 10% chance to shoot with a level 25 stigma. It's more than 20%. It's more than 10%, isn't it? Like, doesn't the additional projectile fire all the time when you have it at max level? They gave elusive clone a CDR proc. Yeah, specifically for elusive. So you're not going to get back your whatchamacallit, insignia spam. Yeah, you're not getting that back, but you're gonna have high uptime on elusive clone, which means that assassin is probably going to go back to be the highest DPS in the game after that. Alright, next, this is Chanta. Projectile shows 100%, 10%. Is it 10%? I felt like it shoots every time, but I mean, regardless, it's less self-sustained. Like, I can tell you, since I started playing Ranger, that when you have support fire up, you feel it in your self-sustain, right? Now, I'm assuming there's some self-sustain on your skills, or is it only on the additional projectile? Because you do feel it, so Ranger is undoubtedly going to have less self-sustain in PvE then. Rotating attack, PvE damage increase. Okay, so PvE damage increase for Chenta across the board. I think that's good, right? Because Chenta kind of was between a rock and a hard place, so I guess giving it a bit more PvE damage is good since Cleric has a proper PvE like rule buff now. 5 to 10%. From 3 to 2. So overall, so this is a buff. Yeah. You're getting 5% more crit damage and healing boost. And you're also overall, this is just a straight up PvE damage boost for Penta across the board. I'm assuming this is Dark Rush. Yeah. SM generation. Interesting. Oh, really? Wow. Okay, so they are removing self-sustain to like most classes across the board. That's interesting. Instant cast. Does not display in stacked. Cooldown change from 1 second to instant cast. Okay, so QOL on SM. Like you're getting QOL and you're getting less self-sustain. Isn't that a class that is just 90% left click, right click playstyle actually has a lot of active skills to manage? Most classes are like that, but if you want to play a class that has like more buttons that you can't macro, play a support. Because support classes has to manage like, you know, defensives and healing spells separately from macros, because obviously you need to like time them properly, right? Like baby version of FFLox without names. Isn't it AION.ing or something? Let's see. So that's soak, fire auto damage, PV damage increase. Okay, so soak is getting a slight life leech buff and a PvE buff. Although this is also PvP, right? Yeah. Chenta is considered as a support or only Cleric? Yeah, Chenta is a support. Basically, Gladiator, Templar, Cleric, Chantas are supports. Although, on the Gladiator side, you can actually macro everything. Like, pretty much, virtually everything you can macro on Gladiator. And Templar... I mean, Templar kinda to some extent as well, right? So yeah, mostly Chanta Cleric, you're gonna have like more contextual buttons. Has SM and AION2 same damage problem with overbuffable dots like an AION? Nah. SM and AION2 is it's a pet class. You're not really like, when you apply dots to a boss, it's more so for the additional effect more than the dots. And also like it's individual. So you don't have to worry about overlapping if you have multiple. Yeah, that's it, I guess. Okay. Okay, so overall, this balance patch reeks of... Like, I guess the noteworthy thing is no more RNG reset on remove shock. PvP, like TTK in PvP is getting higher across the board. The higher DPS classes are probably going to feel it more, right? And they are reducing RDPS across the board. They are reducing self-sustain across the board. And they are, I mean, yeah, they are increasing PvE damage for the classes that are like a bit behind. But broadly speaking, I do think Gladiator is probably going to be in a more awkward spot in PvE now. And Templar Stonks are going to rise up. Yeah. So yeah. Long story short, Gladiator nerf, Templar buff, Assassin buff, Brawler buff, Ranger buff, Chanta buff, SM, QOL, and Sork buff, and self-sustained nerf across the board. Sork and Ranger behind. I mean, the thing is that they are about to be behind because Assassin is going to like go back up. Like, this buff is going to be a lot more significant than you guys think it is. Because Elusive Clone is the burst window for Assassin. Like, this shit is the reason why Assassin has as high burst as it does. And the thing is, this self-reset on Elusive Clone, I don't know if it's quite going to make Assassin be able to have 100% uptime on Elusive Clone, but it's gonna be very close. Like, you're gonna have it up more than you don't. No Cleric changes? Nah. Hello, not drama. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Cleric needs much changes right now. Like, the main thing I would change for Cleric is I would make the level 25 resurrection spell give a group-wide self-res buff instead of only to the Cleric, because right now it's awkward to use. I'm a new AION2 Cleric player in Taiwan. I'd like to be able to learn the most I can ready for global release. What source can I use for PvP illustration to support playstyle as well as builds? Thanks. I also saw you new. Equalized arena going to be a thing for global. Would be I would assume that the equalized PvP game mode will be out on global from the get-go, yes. Because they just straight up replaced the old battleground with this one. So we're probably going to get it on global right away. When it comes to resources for Cleric, I don't use the optimal macro for Cleric because of my high ping, not really working too well with LMB and Bolt. So I'm not really building into it. But if you ask on Discord, I'm sure someone will be able to provide it to you. And in terms of like how you build as a Cleric, you just fully build offensively like every other class for PvE. No surprises here. I'll join the server. I mean, sure. Like, at the end of the day, just keep in mind, I'm not going to make like a community legion or anything. Like, I'm mostly going to keep in touch with my community from my Discord, not from a legion. Is finding a support for a group taking a long time in the game? Not really, no. It's not too bad. And like, for most of the light content, you don't really need to run an optimal comp anyways. Like, it's better, but you don't absolutely need to. So basically, this is not like AION1 where you are stuck waiting for a Cleric to join your group for 3 hours, and if you don't have one, you don't run anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to brute force without a healer, technically speaking, you can do that with self-res. And if you just have a Chanter available, that's going to be enough to heal you through most of the content. Like, bottom line. Not to say that Cleric is bad. I think Cleric is in a good position right now. But the game is a lot more flexible in terms of comp for like light content. For raids, it's a bit of a different story. Like, raids, you want a proper comp. But yeah. Yeah, but I guess that's everything. I mean, overall, I think these are decent changes. Like, the one where I don't know is Gladiator. Like, Gladiator, we're gonna need DPS data to see exactly where Gladiator stands after this. Because, like, there's a chance that Templar is gonna be better than Glad after this patch in PvE. Like, basically, Gladiator is in a similar position to... I mean, I guess it's in a similar position to Chanta, like, fresh off Chapter 1 right now. Yeah. The changes are not good. I mean, you play Glad, so you're not objective. Overall, directionally, these are good changes, right? It's just that if they want Gladiator to move that way, that's fine. They just need to make sure that it keeps up on the RDPS. And thanks for the follow, Agile. Templar is not far behind the DPS compared to Glad, and RDT was similar, not Templar smashes Glad. We don't know that. Okay, here's the thing. We don't know that because we don't have proper fucking content to pass in. You know what I mean? So we just don't know that. Now, I am assuming that Gladiator will fall behind with this. I am assuming that. Dungeons are PCZ, yeah. Don't want the old damage, I want health of the game. I mean, fact of the matter is, Raiden, Fact of the matter is, and you can't even say that's not the case because you have been asking for that as well. People have been asking for Gladiator to have more ADPS. And this is what they're doing. Right? This is what they're doing. Now, this is not necessarily a bad direction for them to take, but they need to make sure, within the context of the whole balance, Gladiator is still on the same level as Templar. Or probably, I would say, Gladiator needs to be like 100k ahead of Templar in terms of like the highest end of DPS. Like, Gladiator needs to be about 10% ahead of Templar in terms of DPS, of RDPS, if they want to build it the way it is. Like, you guys see what I mean? Because Templar also provides defensives to the group, right? Reason for Glad to exist. With this change, there's no reason for Glad to exist. I wouldn't say there's no reason for Glad to exist. Just, at the end of the day, you are a tank. You do good damage and you still buff the group, right? Now, if anything, this change is going to make it easier for you to keep aggro. It will. Because you're not buffing the rest of the group anymore, so the rest of the group's damage just went down, and you do more personal DPS. So you will have an easier time keeping aggro. That's just a fact. Like, the only thing that matters with this change is whether or not Gladiator will be ahead of Templar in terms of like RDPS. That's the only thing that matters. From a gameplay perspective, Gladiator did not change at all. Like, this will not change your gameplay even a bit. You're still going to play the game the exact same. So the only thing that matters is RDPS. And we won't have proper RDPS data until we have a proper fight in the game. So yeah. What class is Templar? It's a tank. There's no problem with holding aggro on Glad, at least in my case. As long as you don't have high ping, there's no problem in holding aggro, because basically the bulk of your threat on Glad is coming from overhead slam. So if you have high ping, you have less overheads, so aggro is a problem. But on human ping, it's not a problem. Obviously, if you have like 250 ping, then yeah, it's a problem. Overall, I would say that it would be okay to give a taunt to Templar, but broadly speaking, I don't think Glad has a threat problem, right? I don't think Glad has a threat problem. Because like overhead slam does give a lot of threat, and like as long as you have like less than 100 ping, you will keep aggro even if you have juicers in your group. That's just a fact. But it's gonna be even less of a problem with that. Like my point is that it's gonna be even less of a problem with that. I don't have aggro problem if you die mid combat. The aggro problems only stem from ping problems. That's the only thing. Are you dropping a threat? I mean, yes and no. Like, Templar doesn't really have a problem getting threat back after it dies. Like, when you res as a Templar after dying, you get threat back within 5 seconds. If you have good ping, that is. Like, one taunt with one set of judgments, and you're back on the top of the aggro list. No problems. Gladiator struggles a little bit more, but not that much if you have no ping, right? So, you know. If you're about to zoom, yeah, like one doom shield window and you're good. But like broadly speaking, I don't disagree with the notion. If they want a Gladiator to be a tank, even if it's an off tank, they should probably give it more threat, just baseline, right? I just don't think they see it as a problem because like obviously they are like the data they're collecting from is like Korea and Taiwan, which is like low ping people, right? So you know. But like from a gameplay perspective, yeah. The only thing I'm worried about with Gladiator is the RDPS after this. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, Templar stonks are going way up with this, right? Like again, On a gameplay perspective, your gameplay as a Templar is not going to change, although I think you're gonna have to adjust a few things to build into Raw and like into this, whatever the actual name of this is. Because this does seem pretty big. Team synergy perspective, our stonks are went down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You lost RDPS, but you gained ADPS. The question is, like, is that going to be enough? I don't think it will, because in my opinion, with the way Glad and Templar are built, Gladiator should be about 10% DPS ahead of Templar. About, right? Like, because Templar provides more defensive for the group. It's a more stable tank. Like, you know what I mean? In the same, okay, I guess in the same vein that Cleric versus Chanta should have a bit more DPS than Cleric, a bit more RDPS than Cleric because Chanta has less healing. This is the same thing here, right? Gladiator should have more DPS than Templar because Templar has more defenses for the group. Not much, but just enough to, you know, differentiate them. You know what I mean? Like that basically that's the logic here. But I am just a bit afraid that right now the balance is going to be off. Because I do think that as it is, even with the like the ADPS buff, I think Templar is gonna have more RDPS. Especially with this. So yeah. Chanta is too close to Templar DPS for my liking. I mean, I think it's still quite a bit lower. I don't think Templar is doing bad in terms of DPS right now. Now, obviously, like the thing with Templar is that a lot of the Templars you look at build wrong. You know what I mean? New patch notes, yeah. Because like, if you build Templar like full offense and full offense stigmas, especially with the new stigma they added in chapter 1, Templar actually does insane damage right now. Like, don't get it mistaken. Gladiator Chanta currently don't. Prior to this patch, Chanta was a bit ahead of Cleric, but I don't think it was ahead enough. After this patch, I think it will be. But in terms of like Gladiator and Templar, I think Gladiator was ahead of Templar prior to this patch because of Zikil's being a raid buff, right? But with Zikil's being a personal now, I think Gladiator is just going to be like below Templar in RDPS. Yo, why is the bot not working? Oh, I guess the bot just doesn't like Akiran. You know what? Fair enough. But yeah, good plug though. Good plug. Zikil is kind of a meh buff now. It's just a good personal buff, basically. Yeah. Also, like, people don't necessarily think about this, but this is just like stonks down for Gladiator in PvP. Yeah. Gladiator is going to be weaker in the Battleground. As an answer, yeah, that's probably what it is. 1v1 won't change? Yeah, but who gives a shit about 1v1, bro? Like, yeah. Most current people just do 1v1 roaming or 1vx. I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess. But in the current state of the game, like 1v1 is such a joke anyways that who gives a shit? Are we still on Gladiator? Now, I went over everything. It's just that the biggest question mark right now is Gladiator. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's everything. Like, there's nothing else. I mean, I guess the only other thing of note is that yeah, I'm going to be like 20 euros poorer after the patch. So talking, yeah, unfortunate. It's a shame that I have to buy it. It's a shame, really. It's just by law. Which one of the two will we get? You know what? Okay, let's run a poll. Chat. This is gonna be participative. You guys get to decide which one I get, because I'll get either. You know, I am leaning more towards one of them, but you guys get to choose. So I'm going to run a poll, and you guys decide which one I buy. All right, I'm running this for 2 minutes. You guys choose. Your avatar is literally white. Bro, it's both black and white. I mean, I get what you say, but you know. Glad nerfed? Yeah, Gladiator overall is nerfed, yes. Both. I mean, you know what, Erased? I will buy both, alright? I will buy both if you donate 40 euros right now. I'll do it. Out of the goodness of my heart. What role is Gladiator going to have in a raid? That's the thing, right? If you pay for it, yeah, exactly. Wasn't that pet already in the game? Yeah, it was available for the first 2 weeks of the game, and they are bringing it back. So I didn't buy it then, I'm going to buy it now. Obviously. Ah, yes, 1 bit. Yo, thanks for the contribution, Cerulean. Appreciate it. Is that enough? You know what's funny, Cerulean? Because Twitch is... I think Twitch takes like 70% of bits. So I'm actually deadass not gonna get any money out of that. So, yeah. I like how this chat is more active than the brothers with 2.7k viewers. I mean... It is what it is, right? Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote, chat. You will be the one deciding which one I buy after the maintenance. Very important decision. You guys will get to see that pet every time I play, alright? So choose carefully. Where's the baby meow option? Well, the baby meow option, so Yukity, if you... Okay, Yukity, let me walk you through this. Let me walk you through this. Alright. Let me just open something real quick. Alright, so if you want the baby meow option, Yukity, so you exit full screen, right? And then you scroll down, right? And you click on that button. And then you input the number 20. Okay? You following? That's the baby meow option. Alright, well, wow, you guys overwhelmingly voted for white. That's racist. You're all getting banned. That's it. You're all getting cancelled. Alright, well, white it is then. Do you have a guide for Cleric? I don't have class guides for now. I will have class guides when Global is close to releasing. Like, you know, surface level guides. Easy to buy bots these days. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of people doing that. But you know what? I don't really give a shit about what other people are doing. Like, good for them. I don't know. I'm just doing my own thing, you know? I don't think you can buy the Black Dragon because then you will be as bad connotation. Oh, shut the fuck up, Raiden. You know what, Raiden? I'm glad Gladiator got nerfed. Get fucked, you know? From 50 to... I mean, maybe he got hosted. That's a possibility. Which dragon were you leaning towards before the vote? I was leaning more towards the white one. Okay, I will tell you why I was leaning more towards the white one. Because my character is wearing black, right? So if I'm riding a black pet, you're basically not going to be able to see my character. You know what I mean? Whereas the white one is going to contrast, so it's going to look better. You know what I mean? Don't be mean to me. Don't be mean to me, or I will throw money at you. Wow, you are really discouraging me, dude. Holy shit. How American of you. Please make guest score combat power progression guide. I mean, I kind of did already. Like, I just uploaded a new player post-growth guide, which in some essence is that. When it comes to, like, the global release, I will have a game start guide, yes. Yes, you will look more majestic. De la Morte. Thanks for the sub, appreciate it. Very cool. Enjoy the emotes. Made by me. I don't mean paper money, I mean coins at your head. Damn. My character also wears black, but I'm basically naked, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, well. Yeah, mine has like a lot of clothing on for the Korean baseline for sure. Damn. All right. Well, I guess. I mean, I guess the how long is the patch again? Bruh. It was only 4 hours, right? So it's gonna be coming back up around 1:30 a.m. my time. I guess I'll make the Patchnotes video like right when it opens. I guess, yeah, because it's not a big one. So yeah, I'm just going to do that, and then I'll go to bed at 3 a.m. and be sleep deprived for tomorrow's stream. It's gonna be great. I gotta ask, which one's your favorite Fire Emblem? Ooh, that's a tough one, OBS. And thanks for the follow, Galen. Okay, it's gonna be very unoriginal, right? Oh, you know what, actually? So I love Three House. I genuinely like Three House. It's a very ugly game, but it's a really good game, right? I really like Echoes of Valentia. Like, I know it's a bit of a sleeper pick, like the remake of Gaiden. I really like it. On the 3DS, yeah, big fan of that one. Did you already go through Ranger Sins changes? Yeah, I went through everything already. Anyways, I'm about to end stream, Suki, so you can just watch the replay, and then I'm going to cover them on the Patchnotes video. And the Patchnotes video should be up like around an hour after the server comes up. I showed my brother as brother. He told me he saw less explicit NSFW mods on WoW. I mean, yeah, AION2 is like, the fact that they said they're not going to censor AION2 in the West is crazy. Any update for Ranger? Yes. PvE buffs. PvE damage buff and self-sustain nerf. Rain Shout, I like it. Yeah, I like the Gaiden remake. Also, bro, the thing with the Gaiden remake, so with Echoes of Valentia, is it's so good, dude. The cutscenes are good, the art is good, the music is good. It has that old school feeling. Now, a lot of the maps are dog shit because it's old Fire Emblem, you know? Like, a lot of the maps are like not good, but it's just so good. And the added post-game content with like Grima and stuff, yeah, it's just good, man. Never ride a motorbike, it's all BLK. I guess, yeah, my motorbike is kind of black, so it's gonna be a stark change. Everyone wants Guna skins these days. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. Like, look, at the end of the day, I think the way AION2 does skins is great, because you get the cool skins from in-game. Like, the in-game skins are great, right? And then if you want like cutesy pajama stuff and stuff like that, you get that from the Battle Pass. And if you want the straight Guna stuff, like if you just want like full-on dick and balls like exposed on your screen at 4K, you just buy from the cash shop. And the cash shop is pretty much all of that, right? And that's fine. Like that's a good way to do it. Because I don't give a shit about the Guna skins, so I will never have to pay. Do you have a patch notes link in English? No, but I know some people do patch notes translation on like community Discord, so if you give it a couple of hours, it's probably going to be available. Or you can just wait for my video, I guess. I have a soft spot for Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. The GameCube one are good, yes. Okay, the main problem with Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn is that you're just stuck in the battle animations. The battle animations, man, it's rough. It's like, yeah, let me just like watch a 30-minute cutscene every time I just attack a dude. Theme skins in game, I like when the swimsuit style stuff they can sell. Yeah. I just like the fact that the baseline skins from the in-game armor are good and easily available in-game. That shit wasn't great, yeah. I wish they went crazier for male character. I mean, hey, at least you're getting like, you know, the maid outfits and everything. Global release is really close. What class will you play? I'm leaning towards either Templar or Chanter. I will take my decision closer to release. Now, I should have put some background music for this. Oh well. Alright. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna be done for now. So as I said, I'm gonna be releasing the patch notes video in just a couple of hours. Like, again, probably within the hour of the server coming back. So in like 4 hours, probably. maybe a bit less than that. 3.5 hours, yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for me today. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the follow, the subs, the resubs, and everything. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do a big stream tomorrow, so see you guys early tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and GG's. Also, don't forget to, you know, check out the latest video on that I released on YouTube. If you're a new or returning player, you will probably want to see that. Leave a like, share it with people, and yeah, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. GG's.